Trump moves to open 82% of Alaska's petroleum reserve for drilling. And I absolutely love this. Love me some Alaska drilling. I got the next story. I'm just teeing up the next one. I did a Substack article on the events that went on in Alaska on Friday, but I want to cover this one first, Michael. The NPR spans roughly 23 million acres and is managed by the Bureau of Land Management and has long been eyed for its hydrocarbon potential. You and I have talked about this on the show from before, but now that we know that they've got even more of this opened up, the timeline that I have in here is I wanted to make sure that people as investors start looking at Conoco, Hillcorp, Exxon and Chevron and how they play into Alaska, especially with some of these bigger projects coming around the corner. Because we always want to take a look. Wait a minute. Here's an announcement. How does this play into how do you make money at this? And you take a look at the total recoverable oil. Listen to this, 2.7 to 10 billion barrels. Daily peak production, 200,000 to 500,000 barrels per day. Natural gas, 114 trillion cubic feet. That's more gas than Jerry Nadler.
That's a lot of gas from Jerry Nadler. That's a good one. To kind of answer, at least in my opinion, the question that you posed of who is this going to be good for from an investing standpoint. I mean, one, obviously you mentioned Hillcorp. The problem is you kind of got to put them to the side because you can't invest in them. They're a private company. But you can get in on ConocoPhillips, which is the owner of the Willow Project, who is most likely to benefit from the opening up of this because they not only are going to have a strong foothold with this Willow Project, which was actually approved under the Biden administration. So it's a little bit of them talking out of both sides of their mouths. But the fact that they're going to have a deep understanding, Exxon and Chevron do not necessarily have a huge footprint right now. We obviously know that they've been in Alaska before. They could maybe re-enter via some joint ventures to help develop some of this acreage. But I do think it's going to come down to ConocoPhillips leading the show. I mean, most of the production right now in Alaska comes out of Prudhoe Bay, which, I mean, was developed 50, 60 years ago and has been declining as a resource ever since. And that's what happens with oil fields. We tap them, we use them as a resource, and then they eventually begin to decline, and we need to shift elsewhere. So I think this is a great, great move by the Trump administration. It's truly the only thing he really can do if he really wants to hammer this drill, baby, drill. We could talk for hours about what drill, baby, drill means to the oil and gas industry, but from a political standpoint, there are very few places where you can just add millions of barrels to the oil and gas market. Alaska being one of them. So if you're going to walk the walk, you better talk, or excuse me, if you're going to talk the talk, you better walk the walk and open up places like Alaska.
Exactly.